Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Entab CampusCare EdTalks, an exclusive show where the top educators of India express their viewpoints on burning topics related to education. The outbreak of COVID has hit industries and sectors all across the globe. Education sector is one of those sectors that has been hit hard and will feel the ripple effect in the years to come. According to the World Economic Forum numbers, more than 1.2 billion children in 186 countries are affected by school closures due to the pandemic. However, the quick shift to e-learning and digital form of education saved a lot of crucial time for all. To talk more about avenues and to explore ideas to make education system more accessible through online mode, we have with us an experienced educator who has more than 15 years of experience as a principal. Apart from being the head of schools, he has been catering to various needs profoundly in the past. And he has also been supervising schools as a CBSE consultant. He is inclined towards digital education and is also professional digital teacher's trainer. And this is not all. There is another side of his. He is also a motivational speaker, life coach, and an author. His inspiring quotes are available on RK Quotes. With this, I would like to welcome Mr. RK Das to the webinar. Welcome to Entab CampusCare EdTalks, sir.
A very good afternoon to everyone. I'm really grateful that Antop has given me a chance to talk. Let me introduce myself. My name is RK Das, and I'm a principal in RB Springdale. Ma'am,
Yes.
the question that we have, everyone have in our mind is with regard to online learning. With a sudden shift away from the classroom in many parts of the country, rather we call it globe, some are wondering whether the adoption of remote learning, rather online learning, will give quality education or not. See, due to coronavirus, education has changed drastically with the distinctive rise of e-learning, whereby teacher is undertaken remotely and on digital platforms. And when I say digital platforms, it clearly shows that e-learning has become a global trend, and more people are preferring it over traditional classroom. While I believe some that unplanned and rapid move directly to online because of COVID-19 and little preparation might result in poor user might experience difficulty. But education will emerge with significant benefits. And as far as my perception is concerned, I believe that integration of information technology in education sector will be further accelerated, and that online education will eventually become a pivotal component of school education. I would like to add one more thing. There have already been successful transitions among many schools because of good digital teachers. In my perceptions that all the schools should seriously give training to all the teachers regarding digital teaching.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The trainings are really required. So,
Yes, ma'am.
as a saying, educational reformer and psychologist John Dewey said, if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow. With this context, The education system that was in place before COVID was abruptly disturbed, sir. However, a lot of significant changes were long due, especially the adoption of e learning. So, how has this transition, how is the experience of this transition to you, sir?
Very good question, ma'am. In fact, very valuable also.
Yes.
See, school management, let me start with the basic thing. School management must support financially to promote virtual classroom. And many doesn't have the idea also, frankly speaking. See, a virtual classroom is normally too big a task to be carried out alone with explicit support of maybe institutions or school. Support must be present in terms of, ma'am, funding, maybe time allocations, technical virtual learning. These are an experience and that must be delivered through an online platform and can be accessed outside the classroom. There are school and organizations that have intentionally used, not because of COVID, intentionally used virtual learning for years and investing in a well-trained staff, which is very necessary. School must prepare for effective virtual classes. And when I say effective virtual classes, following point, they should get ready. First, being head of the institutions or and management or being authority, first you have to find out a proper designated area for schoolwork when it comes to virtual learning. And the second thing, must ensure that they have the appropriate equipment and, of course, online tools for teaching. Just like manual classes that we are doing, we should also give a very serious thought regarding routine, class routine. So even in virtual classes, it will create a very good impact when you give a routine as well as short break. A break during like the when you go to school, in between you get a break. So even in virtual classes, that thing should be systematically arranged. And of course, if you make academic calendar, absolutely very fine.
Yes, sir. So you are saying that planning, resources, and training is required. So I completely agree with you, sir. Virtual classrooms are something that will be a requirement for the future. Keeping this in context, how should schools prepare themselves for the future?
Yeah. Again, ma'am, this is a problem almost in, I should rather not to say, but it's a problem for many educators who is running the school. See, digital responsibility is a must for, see, it's a must for parents, teachers, and students as a whole. See, parents and guardians want school to help students develop healthy relationship with technology and be safe, confident explorers of the digital world. Research shows that, man, research shows that including online safety within the school curriculum is the key to helping children become safe and responsible users of technologies, especially if they are taught how to manage rather than avoid. Risk online is here. School can train by explain in a very better way. Like, for example, as I want to say in stepwise, create a welcoming virtual space. All the teachers, they should create a welcoming virtual space. Start class with greetings. For example, good morning, students. Happy morning. And how was your day? These are necessary even in
What?
virtual classes. So start class with greetings and let students see your face. This is very, very important. Being a teacher, students should see the face of the teacher. And if these things are combined, then it will be super. See, like for example, let students see your face when I say this. You can pose a question. Try asking, "How are you feeling today?" Or before jumping directly into the content for the day, they can have a little kind of entertainment so that students will not get bored. Select an agenda. You can select an agenda including learning targets so that students know what to expect from the lesson. And in fact, I believe that this is one of the most important process that everybody has to implement, and that should be given in a proper training way.
Yes, sir. Student engagement is the key nowadays. And so, as you said, as you mentioned, that the students should be taught how to safely use the internet, how to safely
Yes,
use it. So, we all know digital mode can be quite challenging. So, to
yes.
match the growing needs of learning, students will also have to develop the e learning skills safely. And how
Mhm.
should schools train them to learn virtually? How to do this learning virtually? How will the teachers train them?
See, ma'am, I can, so nice, very nice question. And I think Intab is doing a wonderful job
Thank you, sir.
giving such a good information that is very necessary at present scenario. So when it's about environment, environment brings flexibility into the process regarding scheduling, content availability, and structures, which allow students to access the learning material when and where they choose. See, the elements of e-learning and traditional learning include similar factors, such as I myself as a motivational speaker. So you being as a teacher, digital teacher rather, you have to give motivation and sometimes content, stimulus, opportunity to apply education, and when just like the pattern of going to school, and assessment we can conduct, which may comprises of quiz, for example, test and demonstrations, and rewards, which are traditional grades that support the achievements of degree or certification. With online learning, engagement of students is also critical to keep them moving towards the goal. And I should rather include this, that benefits of online learning, both instructor and learner. When I say instructor, it is of course teacher also. And learner benefit from e-learning opportunities. Man, the amount learned in an e-learning environment was higher than that occurred in the lecture-based course. Even those less prepared for our materials based on protest scores showed the same level of increase in learning as other students in online classes. Not only is e-learning useful, but it is also the lowers, I mean, for students, and provides greater flexibility in what. And the most important things, there are several ways to strengthen the technical skill to the students, and that is how. Point number one, I would like to say that you can enroll in technical classes, or they can even attend workshop seminars. And the second thing, they get technical books. Rather, we also consider that we have now e-textbook, and they can voluntarily prepare technical projects, or there are so many companies where they can subscribe to technical sites and magazines. See, I should rather say, in my opinion, they should develop digital as second language, and the students should practice what we learn.
All right, so great words. So I hope the schools actually put in this effort and provide the required changes and resources to the students. But sir, apart from the school side, a lot of emphasis has been paid towards attaining of skills, which is very crucial for a positive change, as we all know. So how can students use this technology to acquire different skill sets? I know you've recommended ways, but how can they use this technology to acquire skill sets?
Yeah, as the ma'am, the question is online classes are also about self-directed learning, right?
Yes, sir.
And when it comes to self-directed learning and the skill, uh, I should say that self-directed learning is an active learning process in which students take the initiative. Initiative for what? To identify learning needs, areas of strengthen, or they can even rate their categories. There is weakness and strengths. We can even go for formulate learning goals, search for techniques, and assist with learning. See, ma'am, being an educator, we should teach the concept of self-directed learning. And when I say self-directed learning, like identifying your learning goals, which we can easily do. Question the significance of the things. Seek out interesting challenges. You can even monitor your own learning process, understand your own approach, use like for example games based, even motivational talks. Start with background on the topic. So this way we can.
Acquire different skill sets. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great words. So, to continue with self directed learning, so students have
Mhm.
been trained beforehand to understand what and how to learn. So, how
Mhm.
to imbibe this culture of self directed learning to the students? Can you please advise to the viewers?
Definitely, definitely, man. Let me be very, let me start in a very layman language.
Yes.
See, as I have already said, that self-directed learning, rather in short, we call it SDL. So this is what an active learning process, man, which students take the initiative. So it should be from both sides. Teachers willingness to teach digital as well as students initiative. Now this makes the things perfect. Identifying learning needs. The students should know what are the requirements, and even the teacher should explain in a very clear way areas in which students are good and some areas where you will find the students are not good. So you, based on this self-directed learning goals, or you can even formulate learning goals, search for resources. And when I say resources, there are plenty of resources that is available for online teaching. And as I said, being a principal, first for me, the first thing is I have to know the learning goals and I have to identify the learning goals. The second thing is that question the significance of things. Third, seek out interesting challenges. And which is the best part is monitor your own learning process.
Yes, sir. Self directed learning is all about monitoring yourself, planning, and then accomplishing the goals. We completely agree with you. So we all want to know that we know that everyone doesn't really enjoy the same access to technology. One of the concerns arising from e-learning is that it may add up to the digital divide. So how the students in tier 2 cities taking up the remote learning process, how difficult is it for them?
Ma'am. In fact, let me appreciate you, ma'am. Like the way you are asking the question makes very clear. In fact, to the whole world who's watching live now, they're like, it's a great opportunity for the people to see your YouTube channel. From there only they will confuse all their doubts. Now, when we start about Tier 2 city, let me explain you what is Tier 2 cities.
Yes.
Tier 2 cities including developing cities with a rapid growth. India, we call it a developing country.
Yes, sir.
With a rapid rate in industrial and allied sector. These cities are most, I should say, convenient destination for foreigners, especially medicals. Sometimes you will see that travelers to get the best at affordable cost. Now, but we are talking here in terms of online teaching in Tier 2 city. So students, before going to Tier 2, let me explain what is Tier 2 instruction. Students who fail to attend important maybe benchmarks despite adequate curriculum, instructions, and differentiation of instruction. Receive Tier 2 interventions, that is also necessary. Tier 2 interventions are short term, and I suppose many small institutions they conduct this also, like maybe for 8 days or 10 days. And as I said, it is for short term and remain part of the general education system with support from trainer or specialist. Education system with conjunction with online learning, intervention must be on the basis of some queries, rather research based as much as possible. B, and accurately target the student's area of difficulty. I repeat this word. Accurately target the student's area of difficulty. This core academic instruction that is delivered in the classroom by the classroom teachers or other specialists, this invention do not replace core instructions. Accurate pinpointing of individual students' needs and selection of appropriate interventions are critical to success of Tier 2 interventions. See, ma'am, Tier 2 is typically implemented with groups of 3 to 6 students, not a big one. And when I say group of 3 to 6 students who have similar skill needs, so it will be easy for a teacher also to teach in a small group of 5 to 6 students who have the same needs. Tier 2, successful small group intervention use, we call it modeling, active participations, collective feedback, self-monitoring, practice mastery, and efficient time. In this way, we can cope up with not only Tier 2 cities, Tier 3, 4. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir. I hope our viewers have noted down the valuable points you've given them. So, sir, I would like to ask, apart from using technology for academics, we all know about the school automation software. It has got great benefits for schools. So, how have been your experience with them?
First of all, I would like to recommend that like school software. In when I say about school software, Intab is fabulous, doing very great. And the question that ma'am you have asked, how have been my experience regarding
The school.
software
Yes.
automation, rather automation software. See, uh, we can poor internet connectivity, especially in smaller cities. It happens generally. Lack of awareness and mistrust in online forms of learning and so on. And in spite of these challenges, the technology, rather we call it tech sector is doing all that it can do, despite of so many obligations, sometimes net failure, sometimes no connection. So key among all challenges is the lack of adequate, ongoing professional development for teachers who are required to integrate new technology into their classroom, yet who are unprepared or unable to understand new technologies, like when it comes to software. School management is important because it also helps the school to manage the students' admission. That is very important, very necessary. School admissions by managing the prospective students' data all dematerialized. We don't need any paper. Everything can be stored in a data, in a software, and reduce the use of the paper. The students have their personal information and the academic records in the future in one database. That is wonderful.
So everything in your hands, sir, nothing on paper, everything just with the click of a hand. Yes, sir, right word said. Sir, so thank you for your valuable words of wisdom. Before closing, we know you're a motivational speaker and a life coach. So please, sir, some words of motivation and encouragement to our audience, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I really enjoyed when it comes to motivation.
Yes, sir.
Since our topic is with relate to technology, adoption of technology, let me share one quote which is made by me only. Never confine your children in your own way of learning. I repeat, never confine your children in your own way of learning since they are born in technology time. I repeat, we should not confine our students regarding our traditional method because they are born in technology time, and when I say technology, it is advanced. And one more thing, as ma'am you have said about motivation, I would like to say that good things take time. So, in the case of digital learning, and we should always remember that one more quote I would like to add. Life is tough. For this, you need to be tough. So, it's a message from me. Please encourage your children to utilize technology with proper guidance and help. And yes, quality education using technology is doing very good. Don't have the confuse that your children are learning online. Don't have that confuse because online teaching is very effective, and I should rather say that it is far better than traditional mode of teaching. So thank you so much for giving me time. And ma'am, I would like to thank Intab Infotech for a wonderful job that they are doing, which is the noblest deed. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us some time in this fast moving technical time and educating our audience. Your words were actually really motivating, and I'm sure everybody has gained a lot from it. So,
thank you so much.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
So, if our audience wants more of such content, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for regular updates and exciting webinars like Sir's. Thank you, sir, for motivating each one of us. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Okay.